2, 1. Action.
I'd like to call to order the City of Brisbane Parks and Recreation Commission meeting on Wednesday, March 16th at 2022 at 6:36 p.m. This will be a virtual meeting. This meeting is compliant with the Ralph M. Brown Act as amended by California Assembly Bill number 361, effective September 16, 2021, providing for a public health emergency exception to the standard teleconference rules required by the Brown Act. The purpose of this is to provide a safe environment for the public, staff, and commissioners while allowing for public participation. The public may address the commission using exclusively remote public comment options. The commission may take action on any item listed on the agenda. The Parks and Rec Commission meeting will be exclusively virtual meeting. Members of the public may view the meeting by logging into the Zoom webinar listed or on Comcast channel 27 and the city's YouTube channel at youtube.com/Brisbane CA. The agenda materials may be viewed online at www.brisbaneca.org/meeting. And the Zoom webinar meeting ID is 920-4174-1911. The passcode is 123456. To address the commission, members of the public are encouraged to submit written comments before the meeting. Members of the public who join the live Zoom webinar may address the commission in the meeting when called upon by the chairperson. Please use the chat box in Zoom to alert staff that you want to address the commission. Members of the public watching the meeting on YouTube or channel 27 may email or text comments prior to the start of the particular agenda item to the email bondoc, BONDOC @ci.brisbane.ca.us or text 415-519-9588. If you need special assistance to participate in this meeting, please contact the Parks and Recreation Department at 415-508-2140 in advance of the meeting. Notification in advance of the meeting will enable the city to make reasonable arrangements to ensure accessibility to this meeting. And now we'd like to call roll.
You're muted, Jovi.
I sure am, but not anymore. Chairperson Ocampo.
Present.
Commissioner Comerford, am I saying that correctly?
Present.
Perfect. Commissioner Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Greenlee.
Present.
Commissioner Kern. Commissioner Kern.
Present.
Commissioner Sewell.
Present. It's Sewell. Just to let you know.
Ooh, Sewell.
No worries.
Okay.
We get it every day.
Got it. Commissioner Sims.
Present.
Great. I'd like to make a motion for the adoption of the agenda. Are there any deletions, additions, or changes? If not,
Can you see my share screen of the agenda?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
is there anyone who would like to make an emotion for the adoption of the agenda?
I'll motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second it.
Good teamwork, Lisa.
Okay, so we have a motion to adopt the agenda for tonight's meeting. Chairperson Ocampo.
Aye.
Commissioner Comerford.
Aye.
Commissioner Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Greenlee.
Aye.
Commissioner Kern.
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell.
Aye.
Did I get that, Tom?
It,
Was that good?
actually, better than I can do it. Actually.
Commissioner Sims.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes from February 9th.
And just
Make a
before,
motion to approve the minutes of February 9th.
I'm sorry, Frank, just before you do, only the commissioners that were present at that meeting can approve the minutes, and those new commissioners will need to abstain when we do roll call. So
Abstain.
we have a motion from Commissioner Kern.
I second.
Great.
I'm sorry, was that you, Lisa, who seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from our February 9th meeting. Chairperson Ocampo,
Aye.
Chairperson Comerford,
Abstain.
Chairperson Davis,
Abstain.
Chairperson Greenlee,
I'm sorry. I'm blanking out. Am I accepting it? Yes.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Chairperson Kern,
Aye.
Chairperson Sewell,
Abstain.
good answer. Chairperson Sims,
Aye.
So now we want to move on to any citizen communications. Anything?
we don't have any in the chat and no written communication.
Got it. Okay, as far as the next item on our agenda is presentations. So main one is to welcome and introduce all of our new Park and Rec commissioners. On behalf of our commission, we want to welcome everybody and congratulate you for being part of our commission team. So as a reminder for the mission and values. So the missions of Parks and Rec and Services in Brisbane, and this is just for everyone to keep in mind, it's to engage and inspire a healthier community by providing fun, inclusive, innovative, and safe parks, facilities, and programs. Noreen, should we do like a quick intro starting with, do you want to do like a roll call?
Yeah, I just wanted to also, from the staff perspective, welcome the new commissioners to the team. We have a really great commission, and I know that your perspectives and your expertise will only add to that. So we're really happy to have all of you here. We did go through a commissioner orientation with the new commissioners a couple of weeks ago, but I also recognize it might take a couple of meetings for them to get familiar and acquainted with our commission protocols. So we are all here to support you with whatever you need. So with that, I will open the floor and I'll allow each of the new commissioners to introduce themselves. And I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but maybe we just go alphabetically by last name, which means Renee, you're up first.
This is one of those rare times when I wish I had a Z as a part. Anyway, thank you for welcoming all of us. Actually, there's several of us that are joining first time tonight. So my name is Renee Comerford. I've been in Brisbane for only 2 years. I moved in as the pandemic started, so you can blame me for the last 2 years. I think maybe do I need to explain anything about why I was interested to join this group, or are we good with what I just said?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I think I'll hold from there. I hand it off to the next one, for the sake of time.
Welcome, Renee.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, Nene.
Yeah. I know Lisa from the mornings.
Boot camp.
All right, Trudy, you're up.
Oh, hi, I'm Trudy Davis. I grew up in Brisbane. I've told a couple people I'm a product, whether good or bad, of the Brisbane Recreation Department even before we were a city. And I'm happy to be here and get to know everybody. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Hey, welcome, Trudy.
Welcome, Trudy.
Hi.
Welcome, Trudy.
Hi.
It's you, Tom.
Oh. Hey, thanks for welcoming us. And Tom Sewell, I have 11-year-old twins. at BES, and we moved here in 2000, so 22 years. Can't even believe it. Started a pandemic soccer group of about five parents and their children during the heat of it, and it ended up expanding to about 65 twice a week, where even the moms and dads would run around BES and everyone would bring maybe a little bit of wine. But the kids, we had ages from 5 to 55, 65 out there, and that was kind of the inspiration to give back. That just you build it and they come, and it was beautiful. So anywho, that's why I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
Welcome, Tom. Thank you. All right. Is that all for presentations, Noreen? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. The next item on our agenda is old business. So there are two items. So one, the adopt 2022 annual commission calendar, and then the 2022 community-wide needs assessment survey. We'll start off with adopt the annual commission calendar.
Can you see the draft calendar? Okay.
Got it. Yep.
So this is truly more of a living document, and it fluctuates throughout the year, but it serves as a general framework for our meetings throughout the year. So we put things in as placeholders, and if things change, then we can move them or shuffle them. But just looking at the next few months and determining whether or not commissioners have any proposed edits or changes. Otherwise, we'll move forward with these items as our structure for our upcoming meetings, and then we can always add later in the year.
Got it. And then Noreen, this basically, I guess there were ads, I guess, from our previous meeting. Were those also included if we had any?
Yeah, I think those were already incorporated.
Perfect.
Unless I'm missing something, and please let me know if so.
Is the garden show in there? I don't think I got back to you on a date with that.
We don't have the specific event date plugged in here for our annual events, but I know that we definitely want to move forward with that, Lisa. So maybe I can have you touch base with Sarah to nail down a date, and then we can incorporate it.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
And then as part of the Noreen, the welcome packet or the packet that we get, would this also be included with the agenda and the meeting minutes?
We could certainly include it if it's a helpful reminder for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or add? And then I believe this calendar reflects only what we review for our commissioner meetings. Is that correct, Noreen?
Yeah, it just serves as a kind of a guideline. And then at every commission meeting, we kind of identify those calendar items for the next meeting. So if there were things that commissioners wanted to add for the next upcoming meeting, we could certainly do that at the previous meeting.
Great. If nobody has any comments or updates, looks like we'll need to make a motion, right, to approve the calendar.
Yes. So Jovi will need to do a roll call once we have a motion on the table.
Sounds good.
All right. I motion to approve the calendar.
I second.
Okay. So we have a motion to adopt the 2022 annual commission calendar. Chairperson Ocampo.
Aye.
Commissioner Comerford.
Aye.
Commissioner Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Greenlee.
Aye.
Commissioner Kern.
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell.
Aye.
Commissioner Sims.
What are you doing?
So the next item on the agenda is the 2022 community-wide needs assessment survey. And Noreen, did you, will you be presenting something on the?
Yeah, I have a brief staff report and then we'll open the conversation up to the commission. So existing commissioners have already heard this, but I will reintroduce it for the sake of the newer commissioners. So while establishing a work plan and identifying for priorities for 2021, the commission agreed that a community-wide needs assessment survey would be a valuable tool in moving forward in a post-pandemic world. The last time we did one was in 2017, so it's been 5 years. And the survey will strive to identify deficiencies or gaps in services, to outline changing needs and shifting trends, to gain a clear understanding of how the city can best serve residents. And it will alleviate the need to make assumptions about program services desires, and will ensure that the community plays an integral role in future planning for parks and recreation. And so in the previous discussions had amongst the commission, they identified some categories to help formulate the survey. And so what we're hoping to achieve tonight is to kind of nail down the categories and then to identify questions underneath each of those categories. And so they include innovation and new ideas, seniors and active adult programs and services, recreation facilities, citizen engagement, teen services, post-pandemic world, what do people want, health and fitness, childcare, and volunteer opportunities. So it would be great for the new commissioners, if you have any additional ideas that you want to add to this list of categories, we can incorporate them now. Otherwise, it would be helpful for staff to have commissioners propose questions underneath each of those categories to help us in formulating the survey. With that, I will open the conversation to the commission. Would it be helpful for me to share my screen with the categories or?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Noreen, I looked through the last survey that you shared, which looked like it yielded some really helpful information. The thing I would like to see us do is also provide maybe 1 or 2 questions just at like a baseline. How are we doing as a parks and department, like on a scale of 1 to 5, so that in the future we can see, are we improving? Are people's perception, is the perception overall of what we're doing improving or going the other way? Hopefully it's improving, but I would be happy to recommend some questions along this line.
Great. Yeah, we can definitely incorporate that. All right, let's see here. Are you able to see this?
Yes, absolutely.
The other question that or kind of area, maybe it fits within one of these, is it could be citizen engagement, but I just want to get a gauge on how easy or difficult it is for people to find information about the programs.
Okay, I will include that. So do you guys want to go by individual categories, or do you want to rotate through as commissioners and make some suggestions regarding questions? How do you want to approach this?
You can look through the survey categories.
Yeah.
I guess so you're going by category? I think on the innovation, new ideas, one of the things that I noticed when I was thinking about being considered for this committee was that there's not a lot with cooking or any kind of nutritional type stuff. And so on innovation, new ideas, one of the things that has been really fun that we've done over the last few years where I work are cooking classes, just very simple, super simple cooking classes. And I think at this point in probably the pandemic, none of us want to cook anymore. But that will probably change as we come out of it. And I think just might offer some really nice ways for people who are looking to just connect with other people. If it's done in a, I'm not sure what kind of facilities we have for something like that, but it might be kind of fun to try.
I like that.
I like that, especially for teens. That could be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
There are many directions you could go with that.
So are we just throwing out ideas here?
So, yeah, I think for the category right now, it's the innovation and new ideas category.
Oh, we're doing it by category. Got it. Okay.
Lisa has an idea.
Well, I've got, it's kind of an old new idea, but I really want to push some kind of pickleball program.
Oh, totally. A friend of mine across the way, their town just started something, and I'm like, I'm coming over there. So
I know it's huge.
Yeah.
There was a big article in the New York Times about how just it's exploded.
Yeah.
And it's especially exploded with, seniors, which I think is really great. Everybody from teens to seniors, we could have different ages, but I think we really have to look at our facilities and figure out how to make it work. It can work indoors or it can be outdoors. You can convert one of the tennis court spots to a pickleball. You can do 2 pickleballs, I believe, on one tennis court. Or we could do something more like having a pickleball event, and it's indoors, it's in the gym, anyways, but I just want to put it out there that it's huge. And I think if we build it, they will swamp us. It'll be great.
I agree.
I love that, Lisa.
I was
just
approached
bought a
last night.
pickleball set.
Oh, you did?
I did. I need to really learn how to use it. It's been a while.
Very cool. Well, I think the Park and Rec department has like a temporary set they can bring out, correct?
Yeah, we purchased it for National Parks and Recreation Month last year when we held the kind of trial event at Lippman and had a really overwhelming response of people who were interested. So definitely an area I think we could potentially offer something and we do have the temporary equipment.
Yeah, even if we drag out the temporary equipment and just make a program around that equipment, that's a certain time and night for different groups and just make a program around it, I think it would be very well received. I've just heard a lot of people really want it to happen. So, I'd be happy to take that and run with it if we need to.
I like that.
I was approached last night. People have heard I'm on the commission. 2 people said pickleball. So I think that's going to be a very popular win for this group.
Anything with I know like we're going like category, anything with senior adult programs.
Well, I was trying to think how we could get a little bit more of the arts into our program. Just off the top of my head, I know we have painting classes, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And those are for adults mostly. I understand. Anyways, I just think visual arts, performing arts. I think Brisbane has some of that. I'm not sure how active it is. You guys will have to tell me.
My mother-in-law is there every day, and I think she's there just to help.
The senior center?
Yeah, and
Great.
And I was thinking that should be more of that. I mean, I don't even know if they even have that volunteer. She just goes and helps people, and it's been great. It's been really great for them and great for her to keep busy as well. I'm going to pick her brain on what's needed down there, but I mean, I know they really enjoy the painting and the arts. So I'm a big fan of the arts.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And Noreen, for these, I know like we have our active adult programs and our senior. activities. Do these also, will a survey, I mean, since everybody, for the ones that use the facilities, will there be another assessment for those that attend these programs?
A separate assessment from the needs survey?
Yeah.
If there was enough interest for it, we could do that. Yeah, I mean, we do try to engage them in conversations frequently because they're somewhat of a captive audience when we have them on site in our programs.
Okay.
So they are not shy about giving their input. So.
Anything with recreation facilities?
Yeah, I went through the results from the 2017 survey, and I really liked the way the facilities section was set up. We just went through and we asked, here's the facility, what can be done to improve it? And literally there was no shortage of opinions and feedback. Like there was tons of it. And so I know Lisa and I have spent like the last year bebopping around the facilities and noticing different things, but maybe what we think is important is not as important to the consuming residents. So maybe we can just repeat that entire section. And then to Julie's point, it also provides a nice benchmark on where we were and where we're at.
Right. Great.
And I would say along those lines, I just put something in the chat. I'd like people to prioritize. I just think, we are having to prioritize in terms of what is the thing that, we should focus on, and give some of the projects that are on our list and just ask people like which one, if you had to pick one, or in order of preference, because I think that'll help us in our decision making.
Right. And it looks like based on 2017, the recreation responses, the highest ones were based on responses related to Mission Blue and the community park and the sports facility, but it doesn't say specifically. So those three were like the top, I guess, had the top responses or the top comment. That'd be a good idea, like what you were mentioning, to see that benchmark, see if that has changed.
I do have, this might be under new things, but it's also facilities, and it might be too early. But we have the old library facility, and we don't know what we're going to do with that as a city. It really hasn't been discussed, but I'd love to see that become a rec center, or a performing arts center, where we do dance and theater. But maybe, is it too early to ask the public what they think that facility could turn into, or is that even decided yet?
It's not decided yet. It might be a little bit early to ask the public to participate in an engagement process around that.
Right.
We are working with a consultant to kind of analyze the facility and identify, the mechanical systems that are in place. It's a fairly old building that will require retrofitting. And if we're going to renovate the space in any way, the city will be on the hook for things like ADA upgrades. And so we need to get a better understanding of what will be required in order to occupy that space in a functional way. So I think once we have that, there might be an opportunity down the line to engage the community in that conversation.
So we leave it out of the survey, just don't get ideas for now because it's just too early. Yeah,
I would say so, yes.
Okay.
Though, Lisa, you brought up a good thing. Do we have any kind of dance classes in any of we do?
Yes, we partner with Brisbane Dance Workshop, and they host a variety of dance classes and voice and performing arts classes for youth and adults. Typically, they use the community center, which is downstairs from the old library, for most of their ongoing programs. And then they do occasionally use Mission Blue for large scale kind of performances and fundraisers.
Okay, thank you.
The kids love it.
Yeah, I mean, I had neighbors back when I lived in Boston about a decade ago, and I had neighbors who were around my age, but maybe about 10 years older than me. So I guess they were probably in their mid to late 50s at the time. They went to, it was a certain kind of dance that was very, like nothing I'd ever seen before, but I just, it was, and they just, I mean, it was, I went a couple times, it was huge out there. And I just wondered if that kind of thing happens out here too.
Yeah, it's pretty big. We have a lot of participation in their programs, and we're so grateful for the partnership that exists between Brisbane Dance Workshop and the city. They do amazing work.
It'd be fun to have more adult social dance.
Yeah, if I could, I'll text my friends back in Boston to find out what the name of this particular kind of dance was, because I mean, it attracted people who were like 60 years old was a young person at these things, but it was, I mean, they were super high, well attended, like hundreds of people.
Yeah, I like Mission Blue as a performance space, but I think we could also, I don't know, possibly think about if we develop something in the future of getting a more stage-like space, like where we could, you know, really have a stage in movies and, you know, just more of a stage and not just a room that kind of transforms into a stage. But it's good. It's a really good room. It's just kind of echoey and whatever. So that's just in the future. I don't know if other people are really interested in that, but there you go.
Great. Anything with the citizen engagement or teen services?
We go back one to the service for active, I'm sorry, the senior and active adult programs.
Mhm.
Do we have any kind of program where like it's like a day trip for seniors? Do we do something like that?
Our senior club used to do like a monthly trip. I think it was monthly, but they stopped doing them just with the pandemic and haven't resumed them. But there could definitely be an interest for that.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think that Bonnie was kind of in charge of that, wasn't she? And so
Yeah.
now there's going to have to be, I'd like to see that whole thing redone to be less kind of clubby and more just open to the public and just really advertise to everybody who's a senior so that it's not just certain people who always do it, but it's just really dynamic and has lots of different interests going on. You know, that would be great. Because that's what I've heard about the senior programs was that it's only certain people go on those trips and everybody else just doesn't bother.
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was honestly, I was just flipping through a different town's seniors program, and this one was one that they have. Like they go to the Oakland Zoo.
Nice.
Yeah.
They used to really enjoy going to the casino. is what
Right.
I was told. So.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, but some people are not casino people, you know?
Anything with post-pandemic world or health and fitness, child care, and volunteer opportunity?
I have something to say about health and fitness.
Hey.
I'm one to take notes and then wait. We have a water aerobics program, and I think we need to send Heidi out. If you want to find seniors, people love to swim. I was talking to some friends of mine because I won't do it in the morning because I'm not a morning person. It's too cold. But I was talking to a couple people and they said, oh, I'd like to do the afternoon, but we don't want to get in a bathing suit in front of everybody. And I said, oh, it's a whole new thing now. There's all kinds of outfits. You can go shopping. I told them where to go on Amazon. But I would love to see Heidi go out and talk to the 2 senior groups, of which I'm not a part of because I'm a senior, but nobody ever asked me to join, which I find kind of funny. But anyway, I think Heidi ought to go out and promote this. She is your best ambassador for the recreation, I feel, after taking classes from her and watching her and knowing her for years, but only as a neighbor, just hi. But I think you should get more involved in that, to be honest with you, and have Heidi go out and tell them about it and let them know you don't have to do it in the morning. You can do it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a great time, I feel. But that's something. The seniors don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I've been talking to a lot of people that I know that live here in Brisbane. They won't go to the senior thing up there because, they said, you have lunch and that's about it. And there's no more senior trips because they used to love everybody.
Mhm.
There are as many people that, what is that? There are as many people that were lower or younger than the seniors. I mean, it was people from different organizations that were there. So the trips just weren't for the seniors. But yeah, there needs to be more trips. I've been going through the Vacaville. My sister lived here for years and moved up there recently. I go through their little community letter each year or each month. The programs they have, like for seniors, the seniors in the library work together and they had olive oil. People come in to talk about olive oil and the health benefits. And you know what? We have an olive oil company right here in Crocker Park.
Oh,
And I would love to approach them and ask them,
Mhm.
could you help us with this? But back to the swim program, I just think we need to send people out and let people know what is going on for seniors in Brisbane. Not all of us want to paint. I'm the worst painter in the world. Can't even draw a state line. I'm a great cook. I say so myself. Nobody's disagreed with me yet. Pickleball sounds fun. There's a lot of tournaments. There's one up in Vacaville, in Winters, where a bar does it. 300 people show up, kids and adults, and they all do it together. The kids can't drink, of course, but it's a lot of fun for the kids. There are things we can do, but we need to send our people out and let them know what's there.
Right.
The citizen engagement for seniors is kind of difficult, I feel.
Mhm.
And I grew up here, but that's my take on that. Just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing.
yeah.
I have other ideas too, but I'll wait a little bit.
Well, I've heard the same thing, that it's hard to get information to the seniors. And I know that me and Renee do the boot camp in the morning with Dawn, and he does a big presentation at the community festival every year. And it'd be nice to have the senior center maybe do a big presentation about all the programs for seniors. I don't know if that's already done at the community festival, but that might be one place where people come out and just mingle. But that's really kind of where we need to do it, is when people come out and go to these events, just have some information for the seniors and just get it to them then, because it's hard to find it we don't have newspapers anymore. You have to go online, or you have to attend some meetings, and because of COVID, it's been so difficult. Everybody's lines of communication have been severed. So yeah, I think communication is critical about getting seniors to do, interested in more fun things that we have available.
Yeah, and another thing I want to bring up, I went down to the Sunrise Room, which is next door to where I live. And I asked her, what do you have? And she gave me a printout. She said, and you can go online. And I said, I can. But a lot of people can't or won't. They get past 2 clicks. It's like, okay, I'm done. Then they call their grandkids like I do sometimes, help me with this or help me with that. But I just feel as though we're missing something somewhere about reaching out to all the seniors. And I've been kind of brainstorming about it and came up with a couple of ideas. But the one thing we need to do is find out what they really want to do, because like I said, not all of us paint, and I don't know, it just keeps bugging me. Why can't I reach more people? And then when I talk to them, oh yeah, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But one thing a lot of them told me, I wish I knew what was going on in town. I wish we just let everybody know to go on channel 27. That's what I did. I got teased about it. So they said, you don't have anything else to do? I said, ID channel didn't have the right murder that night, so I had to go for something else. And a woman told me, she says, I wanted to be on a commission, but I didn't know what to do and how to find out. She said, and what do they do? And I said, go on channel 27. And I sat down and wrote it out for her. And she goes, okay, I'll remember this now, because I put it in big letters, you know. And we need to let them know about that too, because, you know, they would participate, trust me, especially if you phone in. But we need to get out there and talk to them. And as far as the cooking classes for the teens, that is fabulous, because I just sent a sushi making kit to my granddaughter for her birthday. All of her friends are making sushi. Kids are into cooking. I mean, they really are. And I like that idea. I really like that idea of reaching out and doing classes for cooking for the teens. Seniors already know how. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
But the seniors could teach the kids. There's a real opportunity for, I think, cross population. I just interrupted.
I like
Sorry,
that.
I didn't see hands up.
It looks like we have Tom and Julie who have their hands raised. We'll start with,
Tom was first. Yeah.
okay, Tom.
Good. Thank you. My arm was getting really sore. Is there a section in our local newspaper just for seniors and what's going on? And, you know, is there maybe, you know, a whole section for the seniors? Just let them know what's going on and what opportunities are there. That would be kind of fun. I don't know who's got pull with the local paper, and then that could be bulletin boarded there as well every week or every month.
Yeah. I think, yeah, and I know we have a subcommittee. Noreen, would that be a item where I know, like, we're going to be adding to the subcommittees, so that we could, you know, bring that to the subcommittee and brainstorm?
Definitely.
Okay, great. And we have a senior subcommittee, and we can bring these ideas, especially there, to, you know, put it together and put like a plan in place, and then bring it back to the board here and discuss, and then we can figure out a way on how to execute those ideas. Julie?
Yeah, so I was just going to say what Tom said, actually, which is like the paper delivered to my door in my mailbox. If there's a way we could get space in there, I think that would be a really good way to do it. I always read that, and I find it helpful for getting information. The other thing I was going to say is I wonder, just on the tech piece, I think that is a real challenge. And I just wonder if that's an option for like training, or just people who could be available at the library or something to help seniors with the technology. I know my mom is always calling on the grandchildren or the children, or she has actually a very direct line to Apple support. But I think it's just such a good service. And then when you're there, you could show them how, you could show the citizens like various things and bookmark things so they have it handy. And that might be something for us to consider.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Great idea.
Noreen, is there a volunteer opportunity? I know we have that on the survey. Is there a volunteer subcommittee? Or
We don't have a volunteer subcommittee.
Subcommittee. Okay. Okay. Whose hand was up first? Was that Renee or Lisa?
I think it was Renee.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be off topic from what we were talking about before, though. So, Lisa, what?
Oh, well, just kind of writing on what we're talking about as far as these programs that maybe new programs that we could come up with. I know the library has a really wonderful makerspace in it. And I was wondering if the rec department could maybe do classes in that makerspace. Is that available to the city, or does that have to go through a library program?
The space is available for city use. I think if we were going to utilize any of the equipment there, we would want the library to be part of that collaboration, because we don't have the knowledge or the skill set to be operating it. But library has always been very collaborative in nature. And so I think that could certainly be an opportunity for expanded programming.
I mean, they've got a little kitchen in there. I could see sushi classes for the teens happening on those big tables. It's just nice. They have nice big work tables. I know they have sewing machines, but I think that's all library stuff. But maybe if it's something that is really popular, we could work with the library and the rec department to put forth some classes for different age groups and use that great space. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think the only other thing, so Lisa, you allowed me now to do a transition and not being so weird. Thank you. Good teamwork. I think one thing this is just I don't know if we do any kind of photography classes, but I think that's a class that I think people, especially, with these iPhones now, you can do some amazing things in addition to just kind of your traditional photography. So I wonder if people would be interested in something like that.
I would run that whole thing. I mean,
I know, actually, I did think of you when I said that.
I've been taking pictures commercially since
Yeah.
College Marin, junior or JC. And I love it. So I would love to be a part of that. And filmmaking too. I mean, I think telling stories, even with your iPhone, is incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
So.
Nope.
Thanks for signing yourself up.
But put me to work there.
That is really exciting. That is so exciting. It'd be nice to have some display space, like if we had a class and then we'd have like a show happening in City Hall or at Mission Blue or something where we have just really nice display, because you can get some really great prints made online and really large, and you could do a really fun show with the photography. Anyways, great idea.
I love the idea of that. I think it for teens, it gives them another angle, and they're all about being online, making videos, photography, etc. But I also think for everyone and seniors too, it could be a really great offering. And I love the idea of having like a gallery showcase. The other thing that stood out to me from the last survey was how there was a big interest in life skills for teens. And since that survey, I mean, teens are suffering. Mental health is really at risk for so many people, but especially teens. So Noreen, I do wonder if there's a question on that. And I think I'm struggling a little, like I'm involved in the Daily City Youth Health Center, so I might be able to help some of those folks like make the connection there. But I do wonder, like, you really need certified professionals and someone to give those life skill lessons, and like what our resources would be for that. But I'd be very interested in pursuing that.
There is that. I'm just looking at another town's thing for youth, and they actually have a class called Manners Are Fun. So it was for kids. I have to say there is a certain amount of. I'm sure I'm not. I hope I'm not the only adult that feels this way. I feel like I kind of lost my edge over the last couple of years, where like I used to know how to time my jokes really well, and I've kind of lost a little bit of that. I've lost a step. I think that I'm not the only person that probably feels that way. If I'm feeling that way, I imagine kids are too, big time, right? And so, anyway, something even as simple as just like helping kids remember how to act around other people, probably a huge thing. I should probably sign up for that.
So Noreen, was this enough information, or I guess like add to the survey? Did you, I know like we have other items on the agenda. Did you want us to email you those ideas, or?
Yeah, if you have additional proposed questions, you could send them to me individually, and then we can begin kind of structuring and formulating the survey. Julie, I might recruit you for help because I know you're an expert in this area. But what we can do is we can bring this back to the commission at our next meeting to kind of formally adopt and then determine when we want to release it to the community and how long we want it to be available for responses.
Great.
I would love to help with that, Noreen. I've done a lot of survey design, help us get more actionable, well, additional actionable information. I am also volunteering, if we can get an in with the paper, I could put out some content for seniors, working with other team members, maybe you, Trudy, so that I think that would be a good avenue for us to do some outreach.
All righty.
That is that we put out this survey and then we don't get a good representative sample of seniors because it's all online.
Yeah.
And likewise, men. What, only
Yeah.
seven men filled out the survey in the whole city?
Yes.
So yeah, we got to figure that out as well too.
Uh-huh.
That's terrible. Really? Oh my God.
Noreen, if I guess like with the communications of the survey, are we bringing this back, or like will there be like a plan in place that we'll discuss about how we can get that outreach in another meeting, or will that just be sent out to us?
Yeah, if we can get all of the questions to me within the next week or so, then Julie and I can begin kind of structuring the survey and come back with a preliminary draft at our next commission meeting. And then if there's any fine tuning that needs to happen, we can do that then. Otherwise, we can just identify what we think would be appropriate as far as time frame for release, how long we want to leave the period open for responses, and go from there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Are we gonna talk about childcare at all? Because that was one of the categories, right?
It is.
Okay. I haven't had a kid in childcare in a really long time, but I know it's a super big issue with a lot of parents. So what do we hear about the childcare? I know it's a great program. I gotta say, at least when my son was there, and from what I've heard, it's just amazing that we have as good a program as we have in Brisbane with the schools and everything. But is there some expanding that we can do as far as what needs are not being met in childcare? Does anyone have an idea? I'm looking at you, Tom.
Boy, we're such an outdoor family, and there's so much to do here and outdoors. And we had a lot of help with childcare. We were very lucky about that. I got nothing.
Okay. I just want to reach those people. I guess we need to kind of reach out to some parents that do use the childcare and find out what they are feeling, how they are feeling. How do we do that?
When I hear childcare, I'm thinking like, very young kids, right? I mean, that's what you're talking about.
Well,
Okay.
after school programs. I mean, it's silly to call it childcare, but kids after school who don't get picked up right away, they have to go into some kind of program that the city runs. And how does that look? How does that work? How can we make that exciting for kids and they really love it? Is there something missing that the parents would like to improve upon or see improved?
Ask the mom.
Yeah.
They'll tell you. I haven't heard
Mob
of.
outreach is a really good idea. And I'm also remembering we had a citizen who came and talked to us about the communication in the after school program. So that might be something to ask about, like just to get a general gauge on as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if the city does that, or should I volunteer to get with the mob and just see what I can get out of them as far as questions they might want to answer in the survey?
We can reach out to them
Oh, that would be great.
and see if there's
Good.
anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we can just incorporate some kind of generic questions to pull the information out of them through the survey.
Yeah, we can do that. But I think just getting their take, there might be something that we're not even thinking about You know, if we're so detached from the program, there might be something really glaring that's on everybody's mind that just doesn't even occur to us. You know, so I would just reach out to the mob and say, you know, are there any childcare issues that you want brought up in the survey? You know, any questions you want addressed, I guess that's how you'd put it.
Great.
The mob's that's a great group, and they were so kind to let me join. You know, one thing about that is all the swapping that people do, you know, just when you outgrow a bike. And I know in our AYSO group, we swap shin guards and cleats, and that's just, you know, an amazing. I always thought it'd be great to do like a kind of a swap where you swap everything out, you know, and it's all, everyone just trades. A day of swapping up bikes. And I have so many bikes that are too small in my garage, you know, kind of that kind of day.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we
You asked me, I had to come up with something.
That is a pretty amazing idea.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
it's very successful.
Maybe we
at AYSO.
Maybe we integrate that into the citywide garage sale.
Yeah.
Where there's a big parent swap space, you know, and bring down the stuff that your kids are no longer using and swap for something else, you know.
It's like cleats, shoes, bikes, all those things that they outgrow, like before you know it, you know, all those things.
Yeah, tons.
I don't know what the liability on that is, but it would be fun.
It's not. I know my son's track.
No, it was a joke.
No, my son's track team, the coach has a huge bag of spikes, which are the track shoes. They're outrageously expensive, and kids only wear them in races. So like my son would have, you know, $200 spikes that he would maybe run in 3 times, and then he'd outgrow them, you know. And it's like she just has this huge bag of them, and it's like they're brand new Nikes and every size in the world, and she just carries them around to meets, and it's like, okay, who needs new spike, you know? So yeah, that kind of stuff is really valuable.
Okay, thanks everyone. I know Noreen mentioned we'll go ahead if you have additional ideas for the survey or questions we should ask the community, or ideas also on how to on outreach. Go ahead and send an email to Noreen, and then she'll compile all those and work with Julie. Thank you, Julie. And then we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. So new business, it looks like we don't have any, right, Noreen? Okay. Report. So chairperson report. I don't have anything. I guess like for reports, is that basically anything that I've been hearing around the community, Noreen, or?
Yeah, any received correspondences.
Okay, yeah, just feedback on the board. What is it, the e-board? Basically it's not having, you know, I guess like sometimes it'll be like pixelated where you can't really read the signboard. So I don't know if there was like, you know, malfunction issues. Sometimes it'll be pixelated and not clear about what the message or the sign says. I don't know if that's like a technical issue or.
It seems to be working great lately.
Yeah, lately it's been working pretty well. It does some tiling of the 3 panels when it transitions the message. So people might be experiencing that, but as far as the functionality of the messaging, it's been working. We have transitioned that out of our department and into the city manager's department with our communications team. So Caroline and Matt are now handling the messaging on the boards. But yeah, I mean, if there was ever an issue or a problem with the display itself, residents could always submit a service request through the city's online Go Request system, or let our communications team know if there's a technical glitch of some sort.
Perfect. Thank you. The next item are subcommittees. So we have subcommittees. I don't, Noreen, were those subcommittee sent out that list? to our
Yeah,
member-
first we'll report on the subcommittees that occurred between now and our previous commission meeting. So we had two. We had the recreational facilities subcommittee meet, and the public art advisory committee met as well. So we'll first debrief the rec facilities subcommittee, and that was Lisa and Frank. So I will
And
let you
Noreen,
guys handle that.
before we start, could you give the new commissioners like a description on what our subcommittees are about, like a high level?
Yeah, so what we have listed on our subcommittee sheet is that the purpose of the subcommittees is to investigate specific topics of interest to the Parks and Recreation Commission. They're to gather information and develop proposed solutions, which are then presented to the commission at a regular or special meeting as determined by the chairperson. And new commissioners were provided with a list of all of our existing subcommittees and asked to start thinking about their interests, because at our next meeting, we will do subcommittee reassignments.
Thank you.
I think it was attached to the board packet too. The last page has the list of the subcommittees.
Correct.
Mhm.
We'll start off with the recreational facilities subcommittee meeting. Any?
Yeah. So Lisa, team recreational facilities, Lisa and I, we met up with the public works folks. So it was Randy and Joe and Ronan, superintendent of the school district. We met up at Littman Field. We walked the field. We took a hard look at the field. Yeah, it's a really hard field. It's got some rocks in it. Lisa did point out that there's a lot of different types of grasses and weeds growing there, so it isn't like a consistent kind of turf. Some areas are a little bit more durable than other areas. The field looks pretty good right now. We did get quite a bit of rain in December. They verified that all the sprinkler heads are aimed appropriately and they are watering the maximum amount that they can water under the water restrictions. And so at this point in time, we're just going to continue forward and we're just going to do a monthly check-in to see how it's doing. We're not expecting to see any problems until probably late summer, when we go into drought and it starts drying out over there. We did learn something pretty interesting though from Ronan. And apparently, if a mom and her 3 kids want to go out there and kick a soccer ball around, it's not a problem. They can use it anytime they want to. But any sort of organized leagues that are coming, they have to sign up and get approval. And then that way Ronan can manage the traffic and usage of the field, which is really important because if they get overused, they get damaged. It's summertime, we can't water them anymore and they just remain damaged. So Ronan wanted to kind of get that message out there that approval is needed for any sort of organizations. Then we left there and we went up to the Ridge Field, which is really nice and it's got really nice grass. It's got grass that's designed to be, used on a baseball field. As Julie put it, it's kind of like woven like a carpet, so you can walk on it in cleats and whatnot. It doesn't get beaten up too badly. And so that field up at Ridge is really nice. And I walk by the one at Brisbane Elementary all the time, and that field is pretty much always in good shape. I think it retains moisture very well. And I think it gets, the right amount of sun and shade. So I guess the takeaway here is people have to let Ronan know if their organization's coming to use the field, number one. And then number two, we're just going to monitor the situation on a monthly basis and go from there. Lisa, did I miss anything?
Just that Tony was at the meeting too.
Oh, that's right. Tony was there too. Yes.
And Tony is a concerned, he's run an AYSO, and he was the one who really, had concerns last year when the field just got really beat up. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be going to those meetings once a month and just staying on top of it, just as a concerned citizen, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. His daughter's the one that fell and
hurt herself.
Yeah, broke her arm, I think. So yeah, so he wants to monitor the conditions very
Yeah.
Nice that he was there.
And I was really happy with the way that the Park and Rec and the not Park and Rec, sorry, the Public Works people, the people who actually do the sprinklers and respond to the city, we're really willing to meet with, meet monthly and just stay on top of it. I think with COVID, that just didn't happen. The field just got really messed up. So, yeah, I'm hoping that it'll work. I mean, Tony was saying that, yeah, it looks great now, but just wait until the fall. It's going to look horrible. And so hopefully with more attention brought to it, it won't be so bad. So that's what we're hoping.
I walked in late on that meeting. That was great.
You did. That's right.
Yeah.
You did.
And I saw his daughter get hurt. We were coaching that game, and yeah, it gets really bad in the summer. And the one takeaway that I was saying, Tony, you were very successful because they said Tony shouldn't be walking the field every week repairing it. We need to be there, and that action happened from his his care and interest, and that was a great successful moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he is out there every week. He just personally put up new nets at BES. I mean, the guy he's a soccer angel.
Yeah, and I was really glad that he showed up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for driving, Noreen.
I was gonna say, you forgot to mention the best part, that you got to ride around in the park and rec van.
I love that park and rec van.
Thanks for the update. Anything else with that? Very helpful.
Is there room on that committee, or is it only two folks?
There is room for one more.
I'm really passionate about that project. It's one of the reasons why I joined the board, is to keep the fields looking great and access to everybody.
We've got an opening.
Yay!
Okay.
You can sign yourself up next month.
Especially the bathroom, especially the bathrooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You must have daughters.
But we won't talk about that tonight.
Let's move on to the Public Art Advisory Committee that was held on March 8th. Any updates from that meeting?
Well, we're moving right along. We have picked our first site that we want to do a public art project on, which is the part of the Central Park that's kind of behind the bathrooms. We want to do something in there. And so as a park and rec person on this committee, I'm happy that they're going to do something there, but I still want it to be a user park friendly, usable space that people can actually still use as a park. I love the idea that our art will be in there, and it'll be we want it to be interactive and everything. So now, right now, the commission is looking at how to hire, how to move forward to hire a consultant, an art consultant who can curate artists and art projects and move this process along. And so we're at the point now where that's going to happen, and I think that's really exciting too. But as part of the park and rec, I just wanted to make sure that we have a blank canvas here that the city owns, and now there's going to be some art made into the space, and I'm just really excited, and it seemed like it's going to happen, so that's really exciting. There you go.
Thank you. Next is we'll need to set up some subcommittee meetings. So it looks like for Luna Fest, and then the Public Art Advisory Committee.
Yeah, those are
Already
both.
one on the calendar for Luna Fest, isn't there?
Those are both already scheduled.
Yeah, those are already scheduled. Pretty much.
Anything else, Noreen, that we should schedule?
Let me pull up the subcommittee roster. So there it is. I might suggest that unless there's something overly pressing, that we hold off on additional subcommittee meetings until we have a chance to do our reorg and our subcommittee reassignments at our next meeting, so that we are fully situated, and so that new commissioners can be part of those conversations.
Okay. Great. And then basically looking at this for our new commissioners, it has the number and then the vacant box, it looks like we'll need one person. So if you wanted to think about it for our next meeting, here is the list.
I have a question. I have a question real quick, because this is kind of my first year with this. Can we switch as existing people? Can we say, I don't want to be on that committee, I want to be on this one, and just switch it up? Okay, great.
You're leaving us, aren't you?
No.
Yes, that will be the time to do a full shuffle.
Great. Thank you. So everyone, keep these all in mind and where you would be a good fit or a new ad. So, and then we'll discuss this next week. Any commissioner report? Nope. Any staff report? Noreen?
I do have a couple of things. Just sharing some upcoming programming. So next Saturday is the countywide Yak Attack event for youth advisory committees. So we are sending some of our staff as well as some of our youth advisory committee members. It's nice for them to be able to get together with their peers and kind of do some goal setting for their own commission for the year. They always come back with lots of stories and new connections. So it's nice to see them participate in that. We have announced our Leaders in Training program for the summer. So that's for youth entering grades 7 to 11. It's part of our summer camp program. They'll have the opportunity to kind of shadow our existing staff and have a chance to develop their own leadership skills. So the application period is open. The deadline to submit applications is May 22nd. So spread the word. I think it's $100 for 2 weeks. So pretty affordable for parents to be able to offload their preteens and teens and have them do something productive over the summer. I wanted to share with the commission that we were just informed that we'll be receiving a grant in the amount of, it's about $8,300 from San Mateo County Summer 2022 Enrichment Grant Program. We applied last month after the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors authorized $3.3 million to create the enrichment program. The focus is on developing academic, social, emotional, and physical needs and interests of youth through hands-on engaging learning experiences. It is specific to this summer, so we will be using all of those funds to support our operations in camp in this year. We will be using the funds to purchase STEAM project kits and other supplies, providing participants with hands-on learning opportunities that they may not otherwise have access to. In addition, we'll bring more enrichment opportunities directly to our participants by inviting experts and educational experiences on site. And it will also allow us to expand our training for staff and being able to do some specialized training around serving SED students and STEAM training, content-specific trainings with our child care team to feel more comfortable providing this ongoing enrichment opportunities all the way through to even our after-school program beyond the summer, and just how to better utilize the resources that are available to them now. So that's exciting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. And then also wanted to share, so we used to publish an activity guide that was mailed to every residence in town. It was very costly to do so. We kind of reverted pre-pandemic to just putting information online and then having flyers and program specific information available on site for people to grab a flyer. I wanted to share that we are going to go back to piecing together a like a quarterly, maybe twice a year digital guide that will be available online that people can actually flip through the pages. We can print hard copies to be available for seniors at the Sunrise Room. It is not our intention to print, mass print and mail the guide anymore, but we will have a digital guide that will be a comprehensive repository for all of our summer happenings coming up. So we're hoping to have that out to the community mid-April. And then order of business, you should have all received an email from Ingrid, our city clerk, regarding your Form 700. That is a mandatory required form that is due back to her. It's a conflict of interest form. It's something that staff and commissioners have to complete every year. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to contact me, although I'm not the pro. Ingrid will happily walk you through it if this is your first time. So just let her know. But I wanted to remind you that the due date for that is April 1st. And she texted me like 20 minutes ago asking me to remind you. So I already had it on my list. But I appreciate your promptness in returning those to Ingrid. And like I said, if you have any questions, let her or I know, and we're happy to help you.
Yeah, it does take a while to read through what it is they want.
Yeah, and it's like one page that you actually have to sign and fill out and return, but it's a lot of information to read through to kind of
to realize that you don't have to claim anything.
Correct.
Is that in an email?
Yeah,
Yes.
you should have received it from Ingrid.
I
Yeah,
don't think I did, but I'll get in touch.
Okay, if you didn't, Lisa, let me know and I can have her resend it.
Okay.
Okay. And then lastly, just sharing upcoming events. So we have our Artist Evening of Sharing event this Saturday evening. We were hoping to be able to do it in person this year, but it was just not really feasible to have a few hundred people at Mission Blue and not knowing. There were still very many uncertainties. So we've transitioned that to be virtual again this year, and it will be on Saturday evening. It's a nice showcase of local artists and the various talent that exists here in Brisbane. And then a quick plug to save the date for this year's LunaFest is scheduled to be held on Saturday, June 11th. And that is scheduled to happen at Mission Blue, provided that we can be in person and do it at Mission Blue. And that's all I have.
Thank you. The next item, we have our commission matters. We have written communications. Anything that we received for that?
Nope, nothing tonight.
All right. Thank you, Joey. The commission calendar.
Okay, and so looking back at our commission calendar, what we're scheduled to do at our next meeting is to have a brief program presentation regarding our youth advisory committee and teen programming. We will conduct our commission reorg where the commission will vote in a new chair, vice chair, and secretary. We will do subcommittee reassignments, and then hopefully we will be able to bring before you our budget, our proposed budget for the next 2 fiscal years, and give you an opportunity to provide any input into that, as well as our master fee schedule. And then we will also have the needs assessment survey to bring back to finalize.
Great. Question on the commission reorganization. I know, like, when I came on board, it was just pick and, for, I guess, like, with having everybody right now, if they have any questions or any interest on being the chair, right? How does that work? Like, if there's any interest, and I know the always common question is, what does the chair do, and how much, time does that take? Did you want to share the different, I guess, roles so that they can think about that for next month?
Yeah, so it is an open conversation amongst the commission to nominate the chair and vice chair and secretary. Typically, the primary responsibility of the commission chair is to facilitate the meeting. They work directly with staff to develop the agenda ahead of time. They just serve as the primary liaison for Parks and Recreation Commission meetings. If they were to be absent from a meeting, the vice chair would host and facilitate the meeting. And if neither the chair nor the vice chair were available, it would fall on the secretary. Since I've been here, I don't think that's ever really happened. So, yeah.
So keep that in mind, commissioners.
Yep. And I see that Renee has her hand raised.
Yeah. So for the subcommittees, I guess I'm curious, besides the titles, is there more of a description that was made available to us? That's question 1. And then question 2, about how many, like, I'm looking at certain names and they're like assigned to like sometimes 5, 6, 7 of these subcommittees. So I'm just curious, what is the expectation of how many subcommittees we should be thinking about volunteering for?
Yeah, I will say in the past, when we had a full commission, Commissioners would sit on approximately 4 subcommittees. Just depends how that works out with a full 7. And so the numbers that are designated under each subcommittee are the maximum number of commissioners that can serve in that subcommittee. So for example, Brisbane Derby and Day in the Park currently is Natalie and Frank. There's room for 1 more, but you can have a subcommittee of 2. So some committees will have more than others, but will never have a majority number of commissioners.
Thank
you. And I don't know if, I don't think we included a more in-depth description of each subcommittee as part of the orientation. But Renee, if you had specific questions about them, I'm happy to answer or to provide that.
Probably get, yeah.
Yeah.
I can kind of figure it out.
Okay.
Based on the titles. I was just curious if there's something made available.
Yeah, Renee, like last year when we did this, I was like really passionate. I'm pretty new to Brisbane. I've only been here 2 years myself, and I was pretty passionate about participating in the Brisbane Derby because I just thought it was a really cool thing. And so one of the other commissioners actually stepped out so I could step in. So it's just we just sort of talk it through and make it happen.
Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you for those details. That is very helpful. So let's see. And that's it. So it looks like our next regular scheduled meeting is on April 13th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. We can adjourn this meeting at 7:57 p.m. And thank you, everyone, and congratulations to our new commissioners and welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Guys.